is about more than just what's on the plate. It's about the people who grow it, cook it, and serve it. It's about community. In our restaurant, we are a family. We celebrate together. We support each other through the toughest dinner rushes. Like any family, we need understanding and respect to thrive. That's why knowing our rights and responsibilities is so important. It's not about us versus them. It's about creating a foundation of fairness where everyone can do their best work. These rules are here to protect all of us, from the newest dishwasher to the head chef, and to ensure our restaurant is a place we are all proud of. Think of these labor laws as a recipe for a successful workplace. Just like you need the right ingredients for a perfect dish, you need the right conditions for a happy and productive team. When employees feel secure, respected, and fairly compensated, they bring their best energy to the floor. They pour that positivity into the food and the service they provide. This isn't just good for morale, it's good for business. Happy staff means happy guests, and happy guests are the lifeblood of any restaurant. Understanding these rights helps us all follow the same recipe for success. Our goal is to build a place where communication is open and honest. Let's say Maria, one of our best line cooks, has a question about her paycheck. She should feel completely comfortable asking our manager, Teresa, without any fear. Every great service starts with a clear plan. In a restaurant, that plan is the weekly schedule. California law understands how critical this is for a balanced life. Managers should post the work schedule in a place where everyone can see it, like on a bulletin board in the break room or through a digital app. This schedule should be posted well in advance. This gives our team members, like our server Leo, time to plan their lives outside of work. He can arrange for childcare or schedule appointments without last-minute stress. Sometimes plans change. A big party calls to make a reservation, or a fellow team member gets sick. California has rules for these situations, known as reporting time pay. If you are scheduled to work and you show up on time, but the manager sends you home because it's slow, you must be paid. You are owed for at least half of your scheduled shift, but no less than 2 hours and no more than 4. For example, if our host Chloe is scheduled for an 8-hour shift and is sent home immediately, she must be paid for 4 hours. Let's talk about on-call shifts. This can be confusing. An on-call shift is when you are required to be available to work and must call in before your shift to see if you are needed. In California, this time must be paid. If our bartender Sam is scheduled on call from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. and has to check in at 4 p.m., he must be paid for that on-call time according to reporting time pay rules. If he is told not to come in, he still gets paid for half of that on-call shift. To make this work for everyone, communication is key. Managers should plan schedules carefully to avoid last-minute changes that cost the business money and frustrate staff. Using scheduling software can help forecast busy times. Staff should also communicate their availability clearly and in advance. If Leo needs a specific day off, he should request it by the deadline. When managers and staff work together on scheduling, it creates a system that is fair, predictable, and compliant with the law. This teamwork reduces stress and lets us focus on what we do best, creating amazing dining experiences. Let's talk about the most fundamental right: getting paid fairly for your hard work. In California, every employee must be paid at least the minimum wage, which can be different depending on your city or county. It is the restaurant's responsibility to know the correct rate and pay it for every hour you work. This includes time spent in meetings, on required training, or doing side work like rolling silverware after your tables have left. Your paycheck should clearly show your hourly rate, the number of hours you worked, and all deductions. It's your money, and you have a right to know exactly how it's calculated. Overtime is another critical part of fair pay. The restaurant world often demands long hours, especially on busy weekends. In California, you are entitled to overtime pay if you work more than 8 hours in a single day or more than 40 hours in a week. Overtime pay is 1.5 times your regular rate. If our dishwasher, Miguel, earns $20 per hour and works a 10-hour shift, he earns his regular $20 for the first 8 hours and overtime pay of $30 per hour for the last 2 hours. This rule is in place to encourage a healthy work-life balance and to properly compensate you for that extra effort. Tips are a special part of a restaurant worker's income, and the law is very clear: your tips belong to you. Management cannot take any portion of your tips, period. This includes owners and supervisors. California law does allow for mandatory tip pools, where tips are shared among employees who provide direct table service, like servers, bussers, and bartenders. However, the kitchen staff, managers, or owners cannot be part of this pool. If our restaurant has a tip pool, the policy must be fair and clearly communicated to everyone involved, ensuring transparency for all team members. Finally, we must mention responsible beverage service training. As of 2022, anyone in California who serves alcohol must be certified. This includes servers, bartenders, and even managers who might pour a drink. The restaurant must pay for the training and pay you for the time you spend completing it. This is not just a rule, it's a vital part of keeping our guests and our community safe. By ensuring our staff is properly trained in serving alcohol responsibly, we protect our liquor license and demonstrate our commitment to being a responsible member of the community. This investment in training protects the business and empowers you. The pace of a restaurant can be intense. From the sizzle of the pans to the buzz of a full dining room, the energy is non-stop. That's why California law guarantees you time to step away, rest, and recharge. For any shift longer than 5 hours, you are entitled to a 30-minute unpaid and uninterrupted meal break. This is your time. You should be free to leave the restaurant, eat your meal in peace, or just relax. If a manager asks you to do any work during this break, even just answering a question, it is no longer a legal break, and you must be paid for that time. Let's be specific. If our server, Anna, is on her meal break in the employee area and a manager asks her to run food to a table, her break has been interrupted. The restaurant must now pay her for that entire 30-minute period and also owes her 1 additional hour of pay as a penalty. This penalty exists to make sure these rules are taken seriously. Managers should ensure there is proper coverage so that employees can take their full, uninterrupted breaks. In addition to the meal break, you are also entitled to paid rest breaks. The rule is a 10-minute paid rest break for every 4 hours you work, or major fraction thereof. So, a typical 8-hour shift comes with 2 paid 10-minute rest breaks, plus your 30-minute unpaid meal break. These are not optional. These short breaks are crucial for staying sharp and safe. It's a moment to grab some water, stretch, or just clear your head before heading back to the floor. For our cooks working over hot stoves, these breaks are essential for preventing accidents and maintaining quality. Making sure breaks happen requires teamwork. Managers should create a break schedule and communicate it clearly at the start of the shift. For example, Teresa, our manager, could say, "Anna, you'll take your first rest break at 6:30 p.m. Leo, you'll cover her section." Employees should also be proactive and remind their manager if a break has been missed during a particularly hectic rush. Keeping a personal record of your hours and breaks is always a good idea. By working together, we can ensure everyone gets the rest they are legally entitled to, which leads to a safer, happier, and more efficient restaurant for all of us. A great restaurant is built on a foundation of safety and cleanliness. This isn't just about passing health inspections, it's about protecting everyone who walks through our doors, both staff and guests. California's OSHA, or Occupational Safety and Health Administration, has specific rules for restaurants to ensure a safe working environment. This includes providing necessary personal protective equipment, or PPE. For example, dishwashers who work with harsh chemicals must be given proper gloves. Line cooks should have access to oven mitts and non-slip shoes to prevent burns and falls, 2 of the most common kitchen injuries. Proper sanitation and hygiene are non-negotiable. The law requires restaurants to have easily accessible hand-washing stations with soap and hot water. Everyone must be trained on when and how to wash their hands properly, especially after handling raw meat or using the restroom. This is the first line of defense against foodborne illness. Our manager, Teresa, should regularly check that all sanitation protocols are being followed, from correct food storage temperatures to cleaning schedules for all surfaces. A clean kitchen is a direct reflection of our professionalism and our respect for the food and our customers. Beyond the basics, workplace safety also means being prepared for emergencies. The restaurant must have a clear plan for fires or injuries. This includes having a fully stocked first aid kit that is easy to find and knowing who on staff is trained in first aid. Walkways must be kept clear of boxes or spills to prevent trips and falls. All equipment from meat slicers to deep fryers must be properly maintained and used only by trained staff. By being proactive about these safety measures, we create a workplace where everyone feels secure and can focus on their jobs without worrying about preventable accidents. Most importantly, you have the right to speak up about safety concerns without fear of punishment. This is called protection against retaliation. If Maria sees that a freezer is not holding its temperature, she should feel empowered to report it to her manager immediately. If the issue isn't fixed, she has the right to report it to Cal OSHA. It is illegal for any manager or owner to fire, demote, or otherwise punish an employee for reporting a legitimate safety hazard. A safe restaurant is a team effort, and every single person's voice is crucial in maintaining our high standards and protecting one another. We've covered schedules, pay, breaks, and safety. All of these rights are threads that weave together to create a strong, fair workplace. But the most important thread is communication. A restaurant is a living, breathing organism that depends on teamwork. When we talk to each other openly and respectfully, we can solve problems before they grow. If you have a question about your hours, or if you feel a safety rule is being ignored, the first step should always be to talk to your manager. A good manager will listen and work with you to find a solution that is fair and follows the law. These rights are not just for your protection, they are for the restaurant's protection too. When we follow the law on breaks, we prevent costly penalties. When we pay wages correctly, we avoid lawsuits and build a reputation as a great place to work. This helps us attract and keep the best talent, from the front of the house to the back. A restaurant that cuts corners on employee rights is a restaurant that is cutting corners on quality and safety, and that is a recipe for failure. Upholding these standards is an investment in our long-term success and our shared future. Creating this environment is everyone's responsibility. For managers like Teresa, it means leading by example, being approachable, and taking all concerns seriously. It means staying educated on labor laws and applying them consistently to everyone. For team members like Leo, Maria, and Chloe, it means knowing your rights, asking questions respectfully, and being a supportive teammate. When we see a coworker struggling during a rush, we jump in to help. We should apply that same spirit of teamwork to upholding our rights and looking out for each other's well-being. Ultimately, a restaurant is a place of nourishment. We nourish our guests with beautiful food and warm hospitality, but we must also nourish our own team with respect, fairness, and safety. By understanding and embracing these California employee rights, we do more than just follow the rules. We build a stronger family. We create a positive culture where everyone can be proud of the work they do. Let's continue to talk, listen, and work together to make our restaurant not just a great place to eat, but a truly wonderful place to work.